Hi everyone, welcome to your class today. Today I'd like to work with an essential oil if you do have peppermint. If you do have your peppermint oil, please grab it. Otherwise, feel free to use anything else that you may have. So peppermint oil is known as the oil of a buoyant heart. If you do have, place a drop into your hands or rub some in the palm of your hands. And we're going to take a few deep breaths of the oil to start our practice. Okay, just taking a few moments to breathe in the scent of the oil. So peppermint brings joy and buoyancy to the heart and soul. It invigorates the body, the mind, the spirit, and it reminds us that life can be happy and that we don't have to be controlled by fear. It's a beautiful oil. It lifts us out of our emotional trials for a short reprieve. And when we use this oil, we feel as though we're gliding through life. That's a nice feeling. So just take a few more breaths, breathe it in, soak yourself in it. Just take a few moments to bring yourself to center. Just connecting to this property of buoyancy, optimism, strength to face any emotional pains, and just open to receive. Receive joy, receive love. Take a nice deep inhale and sigh it out. Gently allow your eyes to open. Welcome to your practice. So please come to lie on your belly to start. Face down. You can stack one hand on top of the other and just rest your forehead on your hand, coming all the way down. And just starting in a very introspective posture. So just use this opportunity to draw yourself inwards, to feel your breath, to feel your body as it rests on the earth below you. And also notice which hand is on top. Your feminine side, your feminine energy, your left side, or your masculine energy, your right side. Don't try and change anything, just be aware. Be conscious. And quieten down enough to feel your heartbeat. Once you feel it, imagine Mother Nature's heartbeat just below you. Connect your hearts and allow them to beat to the rhythm of one drum. We are connected. Feel her. Listen to her all around you. Take her all in. The sounds outside, the temperature of the air on your skin. If you're practicing outside, the warmth of the sun charging you. Sounds of the birds. We are connected. So become that sensitive that you can feel this connection deeply. And we're going to start with 5 Brahmari breaths, buzzing bee breaths. I want you to feel the vibration, permeate your body with it, your prana, your cells, let everything vibrate. Let's take a nice deep inhale and exhale it out. And we'll inhale to begin. Inhale. Another deep breath in. And two more in your own time. When you're done, just return to a natural breath flow in and out through the nose. And I invite you to set the intention today of flowing with grace in your life and on your mat, without trying to control or preempt what is ahead of you. Flow gently. Surrender to the opportunities that are offered, and use your breath as your anchor to stay present. Let it guide you. Take a nice last long deep inhale and a full exhale. And from here, we're going to extend our arms out to the sides with your palms facing down in a T shape. So your body's in a T shape. We're going to start with a shoulder stretch. So starting to slide your right hand towards your chest, bending into the elbow, and you'll roll over onto your left side, stacking your right leg on top of your left, resting your head down to the ground. Your left arm is behind you, straight behind you, at a right angle to your body. And you're going to bend as an option. If this is enough of a stretch, stay as you are. Otherwise, bend your top knee, placing the right foot behind your left leg and letting that right hip soften down towards the ground. Opening up into the chest and the shoulder, feeling the stretch. Don't go too deep. We're still very early in the practice. So just starting to warm up the body, open up into it. Find your Ujjayi breath. Softening into your body, into your thoughts. Take one more breath here. And then if your top knee is extended, you can, or bent, you can extend the leg and roll all the way back onto your belly, coming back into your T position. And we'll take it to the other side. So sliding your left hand towards your chest, roll over onto your right side, stacking left hip on top of the right. And if you took the variation on the one side, you can do the same on the side, bending into your top knee, placing the foot behind your right leg and softening that left hip down. Your head is relaxed, your eyes are closed, your breath is deep. Last two. Good, and then extend your left leg and roll back onto your belly, coming into your T shape. Bring your hands behind you, interlace, or actually let's hook our thumbs. Do something a little different. So just hook your thumbs, extend your fingers out, and pull your thumbs as if you want to pull them apart, squeezing your shoulder blades in towards each other. We're going to take a locust, but I only want you to put about 50% effort into this. So not putting all of your effort into it as it is still early. Let's take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale, lifting head, chest, and shoulders. Keep the back of your neck nice and long. Breathe into your belly. Exhale. One more. Inhale deep. And exhale, release. Good. Release your hands, bring them underneath your shoulders, and push yourself back up onto all fours, finding your tabletop position. Hands under your shoulders, hips above your knees. And we'll move through a little bit of cat and cow to warm up the spine. So initiating the movement from the base of your spine. Let's take a deep inhale, arch into your back, lift your heart, your head follows last. And then exhale, tuck your tailbone round into the back, round into the shoulders, and then the head drops. Inhale, let the belly drop. Heart pulls through. Stretch the front of the neck, head lifts. And exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull belly in, push the mat away from you and round. And just a few more like that. Moving mindfully, gracefully. Let's take one more here. And we'll meet back in a neutral spine. Okay, extending your right arm right out in front of you. Your left leg extends back. And we're just going to hold this posture. So you're pressing into your left hand, pressing down into your right shin. Top of the foot is pressing down onto the mat. Finding your balance, engaging your core, and finding that long line of energy from fingertip to toes. Holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bring the elbow into the knee, round into the spine, push the mat away from you and hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, extend it out, holding it here. Then you're going to sweep your right hand out to the side, bend into your back knee, and see if you can grab a hold of your back foot. And you're going to start to kick your foot up into your hand, lifting your chest, opening up into the heart space, holding it here for 3 breaths. Good. And then releasing it back, extending the arm and the leg out. And then we're going to come into a side plank variation. So ground your right hand and ground your left foot behind your right toes. We're going to lift the left arm up and extend it up towards the sky. So your right knee is connected to the ground. If balance is a challenge here, you can swing that right leg back behind you just to help with your balance. Reaching the left arm up, creating space. Good, and then from here, start to hinge forward a little, grounding down into that right hand as you lift the left leg up towards the sky. So just keeping a nice long line of energy as you reach your top arm all the way overhead. Good. And then I want you to bend into your left knee and take that left arm back behind you, grab a hold of the left ankle. And then kick that left ankle into your hand, arching your chest forward for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release with control and slowly lower the leg down. Bring your left hand down and find yourself back in a tabletop. All right, let's take that to the other side. So left arm reaches out in front of you, right leg reaches back. Find your balance, pull that belly in, engage the core, fill up into your lower back, and we're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keeping your balance, bring the knee to the elbow, round into the spine, pull that belly in, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1. Inhale, extend. Nice. Now start to swing that left hand back behind you, bending into the right knee and grabbing a hold of the right foot or the ankle and kicking your foot up into your hand, opening up into the chest. Good. Holding it here for 1 more breath. And then slowly releasing, extending the arm and leg. You're going to ground down into your left hand, ground the right foot down behind the left toes, and then start to bring your right arm up towards the sky. Maybe swing that left leg back just to support you a little more. And then reach your top arm all the way overhead. Get a nice stretch into that side body. Start to shift your weight forward a little. And then hover that right leg and find that long line. You can flex into the foot or floint into the foot, but make sure that that foot is active. Holding here 1 more breath. Deep inhale. And exhale. We're going to bend into that right knee, grab a hold of the right ankle, and start to kick the foot back into your hand. This is an option. If you're unable to do this, stay in your posture. Just extending the leg. Arch your chest forward here. 1 more breath. And then slowly release. Bring the foot down to the ground, right hand down, and find your tabletop position. Nice. All right. Bring your knees together, big toes touch. And take your seat back onto your heels. If this is too much for your knees, you can place a block between your feet or a cushion underneath your heels. And we're going to reach our arms all the way up towards the sky. Interlace your fingers and then draw them up. Really lengthen through the spine, through the side ribs. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend into the right elbow and bring yourself into a Gomukhasana. So you want your left forearm behind your head, and you want to press your head back into that forearm, stretching into the whole left side of the body, the armpits, the tricep. Holding it here for 2 more breaths. Pull your ribs in, last one. Good, inhale, extend the arms back up. And let's take it to the other side, so bending into the left elbow, and bringing that left elbow down as your right elbow bends, your forearm comes behind your head. Holding it here for 3. Press your head back, 2. Lengthen through the spine, last one. Good, and release. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And exhale, release the hands down. Sweep your aura, bring your hands down. Take them out in front of you. You're going to tuck your toes under. And then you're going to slowly, so this is where you'll remove your block if you have one, or your cushion. You can keep your cushion on top of your knees, but I want you to take the stretch into your toes. So you're going to start to walk your hands back, going back as far as you can until you feel the stretch. So this is quite an intense stretch. Make sure all 10 toes are tucked, especially that baby toe, it likes to escape. And maybe even coming up and taking your weight onto your heels, placing your hands onto your thighs. If this is too much for you, keep your hands down and just find your edge with this posture. All right, and we're going to take a few 4 square breaths. So inhaling for 4, hold for 4, exhale 4, and hold the breath out for 4. We'll do 3 rounds. All right, so staying in your toe stretch, just knowing that we have these little receptors, these little meridians in each toe, and we're tapping into them as we stretch into them. All right, so let's begin. Inhaling for a count of 4. Hold the breath, 4. Exhale, 4. Hold for 4. Inhale 4. Hold. Exhale 4. Hold the breath out. Last one, inhale. Hold. Exhale. And hold the breath out. Good. Take a deep inhale. And sigh it out. Good. Release your toes, stretch. Bring your hands down. Point your toes. You may want to tap the top of the feet onto your mat just to release. Nice. And then we'll set up for our downward facing dog. So taking your hands a little further out in front of you, tuck your toes under and start to make your way into your first down dog. And just pedal it out, stretch into the legs, walk your dog. Feel into it. Check in with yourself. Ask yourself, how are you feeling? What sensations are coming up? What is coming up for you today? Spread your fingers wide. Good. And then we're going to take a little walk to the front of your mat, coming into your forward fold right at the top. Keep your knees nice and soft, and then slowly roll the spine up, one vertebra at a time, rolling the shoulders up, back, and down. Good. Inhale, sweep your aura, gather your energy, bring it into your hands, and then exhale, bring that energy into your heart space. Come back to your intention of flowing with grace, easing into your practice, easing into your day, or easing into your evening if you're doing this at the end of the day. Hands down by your sides. Inhale, reach it up, full breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Take a deep breath in, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Ground your hands down, right leg steps back, left leg steps back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin. Inhale into your baby cobra. Point your toes back, hover your hands, lift your heart. And exhale to push back into your downward facing dog. Right leg reaches back behind you, three-legged dog. Let's step it forward, warrior one. Ground your back foot down. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Take a deep breath in here. Reach the shoulders up towards the ears. And then exhale, soften the shoulders. One more breath in. And on your exhale, bring your hands down to the mat and step it back into plank pose. Take a full breath. Exhale, chaturanga down to the mat. You can always lower your knees. Inhale, find a cobra, gentle back bend. And exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Left leg reaches back, three-legged dog. Warrior one, step it forward. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, lunge a little deeper. Inhale, reaching up through the hands. And exhale, hands down to the mat. Find your plank pose. Full breath in. Exhale, chaturanga down. Inhale into your cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into a forward fold at the back of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Heel toe your feet in closer. Bend your knees and inhale, reach the arms up, coming into your chair pose, Utkatasana. Weight is back in the heels. Lift your toes, fluff them up. Take a deep inhale And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, offer your heart. And then exhale, walk your hands into plank. Take a full breath here. And let's lower knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg reaches up high. Warrior one, step it forward. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, hands to the mat, step it back to plank. Full breath in. Exhale, chaturanga down. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg reaches up high. Warrior one. Ground your back foot. Inhale, reach. And exhale, plant your hands down, step back plank. Take your deep breath. On your exhale, chaturanga down. Inhale into your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe. Inviting grace into your life. Where can you invite grace into your life? Where can you flow? Okay, right leg reaches back behind you, three-legged dog. Bring your knee to your chest, round into your spine. And let's step it forward, coming into a lunge. Okay, so make sure you're not standing on a straight line. We're going to reach the arms all the way up, coming into your high lunge. Okay, now keep your breath flowing as we start to make a few adjustments in this posture. So I want you to take your fingers and place them onto your hip points. Find your hip points. Now keep them there, and you're going to bend into your back knee slightly. Now lift your hip points higher. So your tailbone drops down. Draw your navel in. Now keep this awareness as you slowly start to straighten into that back leg. So really stretching deep into that left hip flexor. Lunge a little deeper into the front leg. One more breath in. Now inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, hands down to the mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. Good, deep breath in. Full breath out. Left leg reaches back behind you, three-legged dog. Step it forward, coming into your lunge and setting it up on the side. Reach the arms up. So let's take that same awareness. Bring your hands to your hip points. Bend into your back knee slightly. Lift the front of your hip points. And then slowly start to straighten into that back leg. Feel that stretch in the front of the hip. Good. Now lunge a little deeper into your front knee. Inhale the arms up. Keep that awareness. And exhale, hands down to the mat. Step it back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend of choice, either a cobra or up dog. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Rise up onto your toes, bend your knees, look up at your hands, walk, step, or float it forward, coming into your forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, arms reach all the way up. Gather your energy. Exhale, bring it to your heart space. Hands down by your sides. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, bow down, touch the earth. Inhale, lengthen halfway lift. Left leg steps back. Ground your hands down. Right leg steps back, downward facing dog. Right leg reaches back behind you, three-legged dog. Knee to your chest, round, bring your shoulders forward, and step that right foot between your hands. High lunge. Nice. Okay, so same setup as before. Hands to your hips. Bend into the back knee. Lift the hip points. Extend through the back leg and deepen into your front lunge. Nice. Now, with your hands, I'm going to give you two options. You can bring them behind your back and interlace, or rather grab a hold of opposite elbows, or you can come into a reverse namaste. Okay, so where you bring your hands together behind your back. Keep the awareness of the hips and start to lift up through the chest. Coming into a little bit of a back bend. Reaching the heart up and back. Holding for one more breath. Beautiful. And release your hands, reach them all the way up. And exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. So taking a nice focus on those hip flexors, stretching into the front of the hips, opening up into the front of the body. Left leg reaches back. Round into the spine as you bring the knee into the chest. And step it forward, high lunge. Arms reach up. All right. Set up your alignment. Hands to your hips. Bend the back knee. Lift the hip points up. Straighten the back leg. Lunge into the front knee. Nice. Now keep this awareness. Bring your hands behind your back. Either grabbing a hold of opposite elbows or reverse namaste. Walking those hands up your back. Start to lift up through the side ribs. Lift up through the center of the chest. Maybe take your head back slightly. Holding it here for one more. Beautiful. And slowly releasing. Reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, down dog. Inhale. Rock forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of choice. And exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Rise up high on your toes, bend your knees, look up at your hands, walk, step, float it forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bow down. Bring your head down towards your knees. Nice. Keep your knees soft. Inhale, rise up. Good. Exhale, bend your knees. Find your chair pose, Utkatasana. Take a full breath in. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Right leg steps back. Ground your hands down. Left leg steps back, downward facing dog. Okay, right leg reaches back behind you. This time, roll the hip open, bend into the knee. Stretch it out. Try and square your shoulders off. And then extend the legs, square the hips off. Bring your knee to your chest, round your back, and step it forward. High lunge. Okay, so now without bending your back knee, bring that awareness to your hip points as if you're touching them. Lift them up higher. Lunge deeper. Nice. Now we're going to bend into the right elbow, bringing that right hand to the center of your back. And then you're going to reach your left arm out to the side and bring it down and up to meet your right hand. If you can't grab a hold of your hand, that's okay. Just grab a hold of your top, whatever's available, or just keep reaching. Holding it here for 3, for 2, and last one. Beautiful. Slowly release your bind. Reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back. Downward facing dog. Come back to your Ujjayi breath, breathing nice and deep. Last two, deep inhale and full exhale. Last one. And exhale. Left leg reaches back behind you, three-legged dog. Roll the hip open, stretch it out. Press that right heel into your mat. Square your shoulders off. Stretching into the front of the hip. Good, and then extend the legs, square the hip off. Bring your knee to your chest, round your back, and step it forward, setting up for your high lunge on this side. Okay, so again, find that alignment. Lift the hip points, keep that back leg straight, bend deep into your front knee. All right, from here, bend into your left elbow. And then sweep the right hand back and behind you, reaching for your left hand. Press your head back against your forearm and hold it here. Lunge into that front knee, keep that alignment in the hips for 2 more breaths. Last one. Good, and slowly release your bind. Be mindful. Reach that right arm up, full breath in. Exhale, hands down to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath. Sigh it out. Rise up onto your toes, bend your knees. Look up at your hands, walk, step, float it forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And just close your eyes here for a moment. Come back to your intention. Flowing through your sequence with grace. Finding some joy and some love along the way. Beautiful. Hands down by your sides. Inhale, sweep it up. Full breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Left leg steps back. Ground your hands down. Right leg steps back. Down dog. Inhale, right leg back. Three-legged dog. We're going to step it forward. Warrior 2. Ground your back foot down. And find your posture. So settle into this pose for a moment. Long, smooth breaths. Feel the shape of the whole body. Grounding into your feet. Front knee in line with your toes. And allow the actions and sensations of the body to direct your attention inwards. Good. From here, we're going to bind your left arm behind your back to your right hip or your right thigh if you can reach it. Flip your right palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then exhale, extended side angle. So you can either bring your elbow onto your thigh, or you can bring your hand down onto the ground, coming into your full Parsvakonasana, extended side angle. Roll that left shoulder back, holding it here. Open up into the body, ground into your feet, strong legs. One more breath. Good, and then from here, straighten into your front leg. And then start to reach your left arm up towards the sky, Trikonasana, triangle pose. You can bring your hand down on the ground or on your shin. Lengthen through the right side of the waist, lean back, open up the heart, Full inhale and exhale. Inhale, power down through your feet. Come back into warrior two. Reverse your warrior. And then cartwheel your hands down to the ground. Step it back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward to plank. Exhale, take your chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful, long, deep breaths. Filling up your body with prana, with life force, with energy. And releasing what you no longer need on the exhale. Nice. Inhale, left leg reaches back behind you. Three-legged dog. Let's step it forward. Warrior two. Find your posture. Settle into it. Making any micro adjustments you need to. And then feel it. Own it. Strong gaze forward. This is a warrior pose after all. Find the warrior within you. Strong, capable, graceful, full of love, full of joy. Nice. Let's take your half bind. So right arm reaches back behind you to your left hip or your thigh. Flip your left palm. Inhale, reverse. And then exhale to your extended side angle. Either elbow onto the thigh or your hand down on the ground. Keep your bind. Reaching that right shoulder back as you open up and spread into the chest, spread into the collarbones. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Taking one more breath. Good. And then slowly start to straighten into your front leg. And reach your right arms up towards the sky. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Lean your torso back. Create that space in the vertebra. Lengthen the crown of the head forward. One more breath. Nice. We're going to come back into warrior two. So bending into your front knee, rise your arms up. Reverse your warrior. And cartwheel the hands down. Step back, downward facing dog, moving through your vinyasa. In your own time, with your breath, moving with grace. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Nice, all right. So we add on a little more. Right leg reaches back, three-legged dog. Let's step it forward, warrior two. Circle the arms open. Let's take your half bind. So left arm to your thigh or your hip. Reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. Okay, so we're going to move into a half moon balance from here. If you find it's too much with your half bind, release your bind and just place your hand onto your hip. Otherwise, keep your bind, look down at your right foot. Place your right hand out in front of your right foot, about a ruler distance out in front. If you need to heel toe your back foot in slightly, do that. And then shift your weight onto your right foot as you extend through the left leg. Rolling that left shoulder open so you open up into the chest. Holding here, one more breath. Good. Now if you have your bind, release your arm, reach it all the way up. So right in the beginning when we started class, we came into a little back bend variation, Chapasana. We're going to do the same here. So bending into that left leg. This is an option, right? Not a must. Grab a hold of that left ankle and kick your foot into your hand as you arch your chest forward. Just one breath here. Beautiful. Release. Bring that left hand down, square your hips off, and step it back into a lunge. Inhale, arms reach up high. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Let's take that to the other side. Left leg reaches back, three-legged dog. Warrior two, step it forward. Circle the arms. Good, settle into your posture. And then take your half bind, so right arm reaches back behind you to your left thigh or your hip. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Open up into the body. And then we start to transition into your half moon balance with your bind. So bring your left hand out in front of you. Walk your back foot in a bit if you need to. And then shift your weight forward. Find your focus point. Point on the floor to focus on. That's not moving. Keep your gaze steady. Breath steady. Open the body. Nice. And release your right arm, reaching it up. Full half moon. And then let's take your Chapasana. So bending into your knee, grabbing a hold of your ankle. And arching your chest forward. One breath. Good. Slowly release back into your half moon. Right hand down to the ground, square the hips off. Step back, lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Let's take a vinyasa, inhaling to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. That's something I say too often. It's a mouthful. Take a deep breath and sigh it out. One more, inhale and exhale. Right leg reaches back. Step it forward, high lunge. Inhale, arms reach up high. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Take a full breath. Exhale, we're twisting to the right. Left elbow onto the outside of the right thigh. Twisting into the spine as you bring your heart to your thumbs. Bending a little deep into your front, extending through the back leg. Good, one more breath. Good, inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, hands down to the ground. We're going to bring that back leg a little closer, coming into pyramid. So your toes are facing forward, heels are on the ground. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Let your head hang. Let your eyes close and deepen into your breath. Nice, last one. Let's come up halfway. You're going to place your left hand on the outside of your right foot. If you have a block and you need one, you can place it on the outside of your right foot. And then you're going to start to twist your spine to the right. And slowly starting to extend that right arm up, coming into a revolved Trikonasana. Drawing your left lower belly to your right inner thigh. Open up the chest for one more breath. And then slowly release. Good. Step it forward into your forward fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise halfway. Good. Right leg steps back. Setting up, high lunge. Inhale, the arms up high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Fill up your torso with your breath. And then on the exhale, let's take your twist to the left. Stacking your hands, stacking your elbows. Good. Lunging a little more into that front knee. Keep the legs strong. One more breath. Inhale back to center. Heels down. Draw that right hip forward, left hip back. Take a deep breath in and fold. For 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Slowly come up halfway. Now take your right hand to the outside of your left foot. Bring your left hand to your hip. And then slowly start to twist your torso to the left, bringing your right lower belly to your left inner thigh. And then once you've got your balance, extend that left arm up. Parivrtta Trikonasana. Revolve triangle. One more breath. And slowly release. Hands down to the mat. Step it forward. Beautiful. Inhale, rise up. Reach it up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Hands down by your sides. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Let's step the left leg back into a lunge. We're going to lower the back knee down. Keep your hands down and walk that right foot over to the right. So it's on the outside of the right hand. Your toes are kind of pointing off of the mat. And we're going to come into a quad stretch here. So your left hand grounds down. Reach your right arm up. And then twist so you can reach that arm back behind you, opening up into the chest. Your hips are leaning forward. From here, bend into your back knee. See if you can grab a hold of that back foot. If you can't, that's okay. Keep reaching. As I say, one day, it will be there. Open up into the chest. Hold for 3. For 2. Last one. And then slowly release. Don't let that leg snap back to the ground. And let's step back. Downward facing dog. Let's take that to the other side. So left leg steps forward on the outside of your left hand. Lower the back knee down. So walk that left foot over so the toes are pointing over to the left. Ground down through your right hand. The left arm reaches up. Open up into the chest. And then reach that left arm back behind you. Reach your hips forward. So we've done a lot of stretching into those hip flexors. And you're going to start to bend into your back knee and reach for your back foot. So you can always use a strap if you have one handy. Placing it around the ankle and then grabbing a hold of your foot. Hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Good. And step back. Downward facing dog. Okay, so we're going to take those quad stretches just a little deeper. Right leg steps forward on the outside of your right hand. Lower the back knee down. Okay, so walk your right foot again off your mat, so the toes are off your mat. And then I want you to lean onto the knife edge. So your big toe and the inner arch of your foot lifts. It's almost like your knees falling out to the side. Okay. Now right arm reaches up. If this hurts your knee, just come back to the previous version of grounding into your foot, right? Otherwise, if it doesn't, allow that knee to open up. Right arm reaches up. Good. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to give you an option here to lower down onto your left forearm. Otherwise, if this is too much, stay on the left hand. Otherwise, lower down and then reach your right arm up. Reach that right arm back behind you. Bend into your back knee. And grab a hold of your back foot. And then start to encourage your hips forward, opening up into your chest. So we're working with some major muscle groups here. Just continue to breathe. Look at your front foot and allow your thigh to fall away from your center. Lean your chest back. One more breath. And slowly release. Whew. Nice. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Let's just take 2 breaths here before we move to the other side. Nice. All right. Left foot steps forward on the outside of your left hand. Lower the back knee down. Okay, so walk that left foot over. And if you did this variation on the one side, just start to lean on the outer edge of your left foot. So the big toe inner arch lifts up and that left knee falls away from your body. Slowly bring your right forearm down to the ground if you did on the other side. Otherwise, stay on your right hand and reach your left arm up. Try not to collapse into that right shoulder. Lift up out of it. And then reach the left arm back. Bend into your back knee. Grab a hold of your back foot if you can reach it. Otherwise, just keep reaching. And open up into your chest, leaning back, encouraging those hips forward. Holding for 3, for 2, and last one. And slowly release. Nice. Slowly bringing it back up. Step back into your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, side out. One more. Inhale. And exhale. All right, we've got one more short little flow, very short, just to come into our peak pose, which is what we've prepped for. Right leg reaches up behind you. 3-legged dog, open the hips, bend the knee. Option to take your wild thing, if that is in your practice. Stepping that right leg back, lifting your heart. This should feel pretty good after all those hip flexor stretches, the opening of the front body. One more breath. And then release. 3-legged dog. And we're going to step that right foot forward, coming into a low lunge. And then bring your hands onto your front knee. Okay. So what I want you to do here is I want you to lower your hips forward. So lunge deeply into that front knee, but make sure that knee doesn't go over your toes. Lift your chest so your chest doesn't lower down. Roll those shoulders back. And then we're going to bend into that back knee. If you need a support under that back knee, place a blanket or cushion underneath it. You're going to bring your left hand back to grab a hold of your foot. And then the right arm reaches back to grab a hold of the foot. Square your shoulders off. Kick your foot into your hand as you open up into the chest. For 3, 2, and 1. And slowly release. Step back, down dog. All right, let's take that to the other side. Left leg back, 3-legged dog. Open the hips, stretch it out. And then take your wild thing. Lift your hips, open the heart space. And then take it back into your 3-legged dog. Let's step it forward, coming into a low lunge. Lower the back knee down. Come up onto your front knee. So again, if you need a support under that knee, please place something. And then we're going to lunge a little deeper into that front knee. Start to lift up through the heart center. Lift up through the ribs. Bend into your back knee. Reach your right hand back to grab a hold of that knee, or that ankle rather. Square your chest off to the front and then swing the left hand back. Grab a hold of it. Open up into the chest, holding for 3. Breathe. 2 and 1. Slowly release. Whew, step back, down dog. We are done. That was hard work for a level 1, right? Got to challenge you though. Remember, you don't have to get into each pose. It must be a challenge for you. Must be something to work towards. Rise up onto your toes, bend your knees, look up at your hands. You can walk, step, or hop to seated. And extend your legs all the way out in front of you. All right, good. Extend your feet up towards the sky. Take a deep inhale, reach the arms up, palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Hands down behind you. I want you to turn your hands so that they're facing your hips. Bend into your knees. Place the soles of the feet onto your mat as if you're setting up for bridge. And we're going to come into a reverse table. All right, so we're going to lift the hips up, press into your heels. Open up into the chest and the shoulders. Lift the hips, squeeze the glutes. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. God, extend the legs out. Take a deep inhale, arms reach up. And then exhale, come into your forward fold. Reaching your heart forward. Try not to round into your back. Pull the shoulders down your back, away from your ears. Good. 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one. And slowly roll the spine up. Okay, so bend into your knees, place the soles of your feet onto your mat. Shift your hips forward. Reach your arms out. Engage your belly as you lower your spine down onto the mat. 1 vertebra at a time. Okay, and we're going to set up for a bridge pose. So feet in line with your hips or your sit bones. And we're going to introduce our arms in this movement. So as mentioned, we've done a lot of work into the chest, front of the body, the hips. So as we inhale, we're going to press into our heels, lift the hips up and reach the arms all the way overhead. And then exhale as you slowly lower the arms and the hips down. So I want you to match this movement to your breath. Inhale, flowing up with grace. And exhale, lowering down gently. Good. 4 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale all the way up. And exhale down. Beautiful. All right, so just bring the soles of your feet together. Knees out wide, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. Just resting your hands on your thighs. Let the eyes close for a moment. Come back to your breath. Good. And then gently use your hands to draw your knees together and bring them in towards your chest. Extending your right leg all the way down to the ground. Extend your left arm out to the side and guide that left knee over to the right for a spinal twist. Gently bring yourself back to center, hugging both knees in. Let's take the left leg down to the ground and guide your right knee over to the left. Extending the right arm back behind you. Maybe taking your gaze up to the ceiling or over to your right hand. Good, inhale, bring it back. Hug your knees in. Give yourself a final squeeze. Lift your head, hug yourself in. And then exhale, release. And let yourself gently settle into your final resting pose. Corpse pose, Shavasana. A chance to let everything go, to surrender to what is, to trust to what is, and be guided by your inner heart's wisdom. Drop into that space of love and joy and rest deeply in there for the next few moments. Slowly begin to journey back to your body, back to your breath. Invite some movement to your fingers, to your toes, whatever wants to move first. And then gently reach your arms overhead and invite a nice big full body stretch. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And slowly roll over onto your left side, using your arm to support your head. Just take a moment here to feel, to integrate. I'd like to share something that really resonates with me. I love when you tell something to someone and they instantly know what you're talking about, as they've experienced exactly the same thing or feeling. And then you have this rapid resonance and breaking of some barrier that you hadn't realized was in place. No matter how tiny or unimportant these exchanges may seem, we shouldn't forget that they are mighty. They soften us like laughter. When you're ready, gently bring yourself to seated, facing the front with your eyes closed. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a nice deep inhale and sigh it out. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice today. Until we meet on the mat again, the love, light, and understanding in me bow in honors to the love, light, and willingness in you. Namaste.